Mega game, mega matchup. How do you see it going? Welcome back to the channel. I suppose for those of you in New Zealand, it's going to be good morning. It's game day. Another huge matchup between the All Blacks and the Springboks. And if you're in South Africa, then you've got a night's sleep. And like me, you'll be getting up early to watch the game. The second test between these two sides in the Rugby Championship. And this is what the table looks like. It's so tight, isn't it? So tight. Such a fascinating Rugby Championship this year, as we thought it was going to be, certainly living up to the billing. So really looking forward to all the fixtures tomorrow morning for me here in the UK. Give me your views down below. All Blacks, Springboks, Wellington, off the back of what we saw at Eden Park. How do you see this game going? Give me your views in the comments. Like the video as well. And if you feel obliged, then hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing from the channel. I feel like that table just tells you everything you need to know. Like if someone hadn't watched any of the Rugby Championship this year and they were looking to get caught up to speed, that's all you need to show them. Very little in terms of the points that the teams have acquired. Points difference, not much in it. Bonus points, not much in it. It's still, this year, so finely poised. So finely poised. The results will have a huge impact on that table, which is what makes this weekend so massive for all of the teams, and in particular for the All Blacks and for the Springboks in terms of their matchup. Could define how we end up reflecting on their Rugby Championship in 2025. So really, really looking forward to it. And it's funny, this game, isn't it? Because the hype train was building for the Eden Park test before we'd even kicked a ball this year. And it's not quite the same for this game, is it? Because of the history, the Eden Park record, the first time in a long time the Springboks were going to play there as the back-to-back world champions. There was such a great narrative around that game. And so I don't feel there's quite as much hype for this one, but I still think there's going to be a real edge here. You're going to expect a Springbok reaction. And Scott Barrett has said exactly that. I saw speaking to the media in Wellington, that they're almost more on edge this week ahead of the game because they know that a reaction is coming at them from the South Africans. So what are both of these sides going to look like? I'll get onto a few bits of team stuff at the end of the video. I've done separate videos in terms of team announcements for Scott Robertson's side and for Rassie Erasmus and the selections they went for. I think there's a few things now we can put both teams up against one another that make it really interesting individual matchups. But there are a few points that I wanted to tick through before that in terms of this game, and areas that I think are just going to be crucial for whoever ends up winning have to come out better in this part of the game. The first thing I wanted to mention was the set piece, because it has been a huge facet of not just the game last week against the All Blacks, but all three matches that the Springboks have played so far, including those two against the Aussies. The line-out has not been good. Coming into this round, they've lost more line-outs than anyone else. They've lost 9, 6 for New Zealand, 7 for Argentina, 4 from Australia, which, by the way, from an Australian point of view, is something worth highlighting there. The improvement in the Aussie set piece is a big reason why they're looking like such a better side. But the line-out for South Africa has not operated well enough. They have to clean that up. They have to be more secure in that area of the game. It's been weird so far. I suppose the flip side of that is the scrum, and we did see a glimpse, didn't we? That moment of the box scrum, the power. It's basically the highlight of the game from Eden Park from a South African point of view. Absolutely rinsing the All Blacks off their ball. We saw a glimpse of that. We know what a game-changing factor the Springbok scrum can potentially be. So that is the glimmer of hope for them, or maybe not a glimmer of hope, that's putting it too lightly. That is a big, big strong point. The line-out has to get better. The line-out has to get better, I think, from a Springbok point of view. The other area I want to mention is the breakdown, because it is an area that the Springboks were definitely second best last week. Sia Khaleesi, in the build-up to the game, has been speaking about it, that they're ready for that battle at the breakdown. They came out second best. They're going to have to be better. And again, is an uncharacteristic area of the game. When you think of the... I feel anyway, when you look at the Springboks team and their success over the last few years, yes, they're an all-round rugby team. You don't win back-to-back World Cups if you're not. But there are certain areas that you don't expect them to be as poor in. Line-out is probably one of them, and breakdown is another one. They're usually very, very good, very accurate, quite neat in their play and their intricacies, what they do in that area. but I don't think they were good enough last week. Breakdown is going to be huge. And then accuracy, which is a far more general point, but is an absolutely crucial one here for the Springboks. Again, just looking at the stats, turnovers conceded in the Rugby Championship so far in 2025, South Africa topped the charts. 48 turnovers conceded, 42 for New Zealand, 43 for Argentina, 39 for Australia. Which again, actually, the Aussie point, isn't it? A few of those stats is pretty interesting. 48 turnovers conceded for the Springboks. Just not good enough. And there have been countless examples in every game. The one that really stands out to me from Eden Park was, I think it was Peter Steff, won the line out, chucked it down. Grant Williams, the throw down to him wasn't very good, dropped the ball. We've seen passes go to ground or directly into touch. It's been stop-start and just lacking that kind of fluency. They have to be more accurate. And a lot of that stuff, I think, was where New Zealand were very good last week, particularly the way in which they raced into that lead, which then just became an advantage that the Springboks weren't able to overturn. Accuracy, breakdown, set piece, for me, are probably the three key areas that I'm looking at the moment. Both of these sides need to be absolutely on it in those areas. As for the teams, a reminder of... Let's start with New Zealand, shall we? So a reminder of the All Blacks team that they've gone for. Real look to the future, this, as we've spoken about already. In particular in the back line, Leroy Carter starting, Billy Proctor continuing, Damien McKenzie is there at 15, Hotham gets the nod to start at 9. So you could really see the bulk of that team playing for the All Blacks deep into a World Cup in a couple of years, couldn't you? So that's a real feature of the All Blacks team. I will get onto the bench because I don't think there's too much experience there. In terms of the Springboks, just as a refresher, again, plenty of changes there. You look at this team, it's absolutely capable of beating anyone on their day. They are capable of winning in Wellington. They've actually got a pretty good record there, South Africa, in fairly recent history anyway. But in particular, Ethan Hooker there, getting an opportunity on the wing. Sasha Feinberg, Mngomezulu, starting at fly half. What an opportunity for him as well. Damien Willemse at 12. So there's lots of interesting individual selections. I think there are two very, very high quality 23s, but also 23s with maybe a couple of questions over them in terms of experience, in terms of some of the combinations and things like that. So it makes for a really interesting game. There's probably a couple of things here. Number one is bench experience, as I've said already. If you compare those two benches, the box with Marnus van der Merwe, Jan Hendrik Wessels, Wilco Louw, all right, not mega experience there, but still pretty experienced. And then Snyman, Quagga Smith, Grant Williams, Marnie Libbok, Andre Esterhuizen. If you compare that with the All Blacks, who've got Fletcher Newell there, I suppose Finlay Christie has played a fair bit, but outside of that, it's not heaps of international experience. I really like Tamaiti Williams. I don't really have any concerns over him, but he's not a vastly experienced international player. So I think the bench and the experience on the bench could end up being key, or maybe it is an opportunity that All Blacks bench and replacements are going to absolutely relish, and to see out the game and have a really strong final 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it's going to be. As I've said, it's a look to the future. And what about the back five of the scrum? I think a lot of those areas that I've already mentioned, particularly in terms of the set piece and particularly the breakdown, could be determined by the back five of the scrums for both of these teams. Scott Barrett, Tupu Vai, Simon Parker, Ardie Surveyor, Wallace Satiti. Going up against Lou Diega, Ruan Nortje, Sia Khaleesi, Peter Steff du Toit, Jasper Wiese. Wiese back in for the Springboks could be massive. Actually an out-and-out number 8 rather than Khaleesi fitting in there. It looks like a better balance. I think they look like two really well-balanced back rows, actually. And then I think you've got real quality in the second row in both of those teams as well. I think the back five of the scrum could be absolutely essential in this game for seeing who ends up winning it. So those are kind of my general thoughts. Those are the things that stood out to me when I was planning to do this video that I wanted to speak about. What have I missed? What are the key areas for you, whether that's in terms of the game plan, in terms of the areas you have to execute, or maybe in terms of the team news and the team selection and the things that in particular you're looking at. Damien Willemse at 12 actually maybe is something we haven't spoken enough about this week. In my last video, I think, or in my Springbok team news video, I posed the question of when was the last time we've seen him at 12, and one of the comments actually was that we haven't. We've seen him there during game where he's been moved around, but actually starting at 12 isn't something we've seen. So that fascinates me. Damien Willemse at his best was unbelievable in 2023, kind of building up to that World Cup. 22-23, Damien Willemse was unreal. I feel like we haven't seen that version of him because of injuries have played a massive part in that. So I'm excited to see how he goes. I'm excited to see how these two teams match up. I'm excited for the game. I will have a reaction video for you for the match tomorrow morning here in the UK. So that'll be up on the channel. Give me your views down below. Like the video as well. And I would love it if you hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.